The transport shuttle descended through layers of shimmering atmosphere toward the massive space station that housed the Galactic Council. Captain Jackson Rivers pressed his palm against the viewport, watching as the structure grew larger with each passing moment. The station was a marvel of engineering, built from crystalline materials that seemed to pulse with their own inner light. Countless alien vessels docked at various ports representing species from across the known galaxy. "Nervous?" asked Dr. Evelyn Cross, adjusting the straps on her field equipment pack. Her voice carried the confidence of someone who had spent years studying the most dangerous creatures on Earth. Jackson turned from the window, his weathered face showing neither fear nor excitement. "Not nervous. Curious. It's not every day the entire Galactic Council summons a single species for evaluation." The shuttle's communication system crackled to life. An alien voice translated through the universal communicator filled the cabin. "Earth vessel, you are cleared for docking bay 7. Prepare for atmospheric adjustment." As they disembarked, Jackson and Evelyn were immediately struck by the diversity surrounding them. Beings of every conceivable shape and size moved through the station's corridors. Some walked on multiple legs, others floated through the air, and a few seemed to phase. In and out of visibility, the air hummed with dozens of different languages being spoken simultaneously. "Representatives of Earth," came a deep, resonant voice. They turned to see a towering figure approaching. The being stood nearly 8 feet tall, with scaled skin that shifted from deep green to bronze depending on how the light struck it. 4 arms extended from its torso, and its elongated head featured eyes that seemed to analyze everything they encountered. "I am Ambassador Kethvar of the Draconic Assembly," the creature continued, its voice carrying an undertone of barely concealed disdain. "The Council has been curious about your species. Your planet's recent emergence into galactic awareness has raised certain questions." Jackson stepped forward, offering a respectful nod. "Captain Jackson Rivers, Earth Diplomatic Corps. This is Dr. Evelyn Cross, our lead xenobiologist. We're honored by the Council's invitation." Kethvar's scaled lips curved into what might have been a smile, though it seemed more predatory than welcoming. "Indeed, the Council wishes to evaluate Earth's potential contribution to galactic civilization. Your technology is primitive. Your social structure fragmented. But some believe your species might possess other qualities of value." As they walked through the station's grand corridors, other aliens paused their activities to stare at the humans. Whispered conversations followed in their wake, most of which the universal translator couldn't fully interpret. However, the tone was clear enough. Amusement mixed with curiosity, as if they were exotic pets rather than representatives of an intelligent species. "The evaluation will consist of several components," Kethvar explained, as they entered a massive chamber. "Intellectual capacity, technological advancement, military potential, and biological resilience. Your species has already demonstrated adequate intelligence and some technological innovation. However, questions remain about your physical capabilities and the strength of your planetary ecosystem." The chamber they entered was breathtaking in its scope. The ceiling stretched hundreds of meters above them, supported by pillars that seemed to be carved from single massive crystals. Thousands of seats arranged in ascending tiers surrounded a central arena, and already many were filled with representatives from various species. "You see," continued a younger alien who had joined their group, "most species develop strength through harsh evolutionary pressures. My people, the Vorthan, evolved on a world where gravity is 3 times what you experience on Earth. Our warriors can tear through metal with their bare claws." The alien, who had introduced himself as Zimtar, flexed appendages that did indeed look capable of rending steel. Evelyn examined the arena below with a scientist's eye. "What exactly will be tested in this biological resilience evaluation?" Kethvar's expression grew more amused. "Each species presents their apex predators, their strongest biological specimens. These creatures face challenges designed to test adaptability, survival instinct, and raw power. Most species bring their most fearsome beasts, creatures that have conquered their homeworlds through superior evolution." The ambassador gestured toward a series of containment units being wheeled into the arena. Each was the size of a small building, clearly designed to hold massive creatures. Alien technicians worked with obvious caution around the units, their movements suggesting dangerous contents within. The Hraktani will present their void stalkers, Kethvar continued, pointing to a group of insectoid aliens in the upper tiers. Creatures that can survive in the vacuum of space and hunt by sensing electromagnetic fields. The Zorgan Collective brings their Titan Crushers, beasts that evolved in high-pressure environments and can generate enough force to crack planetary crusts. Zimtar leaned closer to the humans, his voice taking on a conspiratorial tone. Between us, the Council doesn't expect much from Earth. Your planet is relatively young, your evolution incomplete. Most of your apex predators are, well, let's say they wouldn't survive 5 minutes against what we consider standard galactic fauna. Jackson and Evelyn exchanged glances. They had anticipated this attitude, but hearing it stated so bluntly was still jarring. Around them, other aliens were engaging in animated discussions, presumably about their own planetary champions. "What has Earth brought to present?" asked Kethvar, though his tone suggested he expected disappointment. Evelyn smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both mysterious and confident. "We've brought several representatives of Earth's evolutionary success stories, creatures that have survived and thrived despite facing challenges that would eliminate most species." "How quaint," Zimtar commented. "Well, I suppose every species believes their creatures are special. The galactic arena has a way of providing perspective." As if summoned by his words, a series of much smaller containment units were wheeled into the arena. Compared to the massive cages of other species, Earth's contributions looked almost pathetic. Several alien spectators pointed and made sounds that the universal translator interpreted as laughter. "Those tiny containers?" Kethvar asked, his forearms crossing in what was clearly a dismissive gesture. "What could Earth possibly have brought that requires so little space?" "You'd be surprised," Evelyn replied, her voice carrying a hint of something that made both aliens pause. "Earth's apex predators aren't always the largest or most obviously powerful. Evolution on our world has favored adaptability, intelligence, and what we call fighting spirit over raw size and strength. The arena's lighting system activated, bathing the central space in brilliant illumination. A floating platform descended from the ceiling, carrying what appeared to be the Council's senior members. The lead figure was unlike anything the humans had seen, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline framework, its voice resonating without the need for vocal cords. "Representatives of the galaxy," the energy being announced. Its words somehow bypassing the universal translator and speaking directly to their minds. "Today we evaluate the newest potential members of our civilization. Each species will demonstrate the pinnacle of their biological evolution. These trials will determine worthiness for full membership in the Galactic Council." Murmurs rippled through the assembled crowd. For many of the watching aliens, this was their first chance to see Earth's offerings. The general consensus seemed to be one of amused curiosity, rather than genuine interest. "The trials will commence with the traditional challenge of supremacy," the energy being continued. "Each species champion will face 3 tests: survival against environmental extremes, combat effectiveness, and adaptive problem-solving. Those who prove their worth will earn their species a voice in galactic affairs." Jackson felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. Everything Earth had worked toward in their brief contact with galactic civilization came down to the next few hours. Their entire species' future would be determined by creatures most humans considered ordinary. "Citizens of the galaxy," Kethvar announced, his voice now carrying the formal tones of his ambassadorial role, "witness the specimens of Earth, a world of mild climate, moderate gravity, and limited evolutionary pressure." The crowd's laughter was no longer subtle. Even species that had shown polite interest before now seemed openly dismissive. But Evelyn Cross stood tall, her hand resting confidently on her equipment pack. "Let them laugh," she whispered to Jackson. "They have no idea what they're about to witness." As the first of Earth's containment units was prepared for opening, the arena fell into an expectant hush. Thousands of alien eyes focused on the small container, waiting to see what Earth considered worthy of representing their entire species. The moment had arrived. Earth's fate rested in the claws, fangs, and instincts of creatures that had never seen a star beyond their own sun, yet carried within them the essence of a world that had produced the most successful survivor species in their planet's history, humanity itself. The arena's massive gates began to open with a sound like thunder rolling across metal. Dr. Evelyn Cross stepped forward to the control panel of Earth's first containment unit, her fingers dancing across the interface with practiced precision. The alien crowd leaned forward in their seats, eager to witness what they assumed would be a brief and entertaining failure. First trial, announced the crystalline energy being from above. Survival against the thermal gauntlet. Each creature must navigate extreme temperature variations that would challenge the hardiest galactic species. The arena floor transformed before their eyes. Steam hissed from vents as sections became blazing hot while others froze to sub-zero temperatures. Pools of acid bubbled alongside patches of razor-sharp crystal formations. It was a hellscape designed to test every possible survival adaptation. Ambassador Kethvar gestured dismissively at Earth's small container. Perhaps we should skip this demonstration to save time. Surely Earth's creatures cannot survive what has challenged our greatest predators. Evelyn's smile never wavered. I think you'll find Earth's representatives full of surprises. She pressed the release mechanism. From the container emerged a creature that caused immediate silence, followed by ripples of confused murmuring. It was small, stocky, with thick grayish fur and powerful claws. The animal appeared completely unremarkable compared to the massive beasts other species had presented. "What is that?" Zimtar asked, his voice carrying genuine bewilderment. "Meet the wolverine," Evelyn announced proudly. Gulo gulo, native to Earth's harshest northern regions. The alien crowd erupted in laughter. Several species made sounds that clearly translated as mockery. The wolverine, seemingly oblivious to the attention, began methodically exploring its new environment. It approached the thermal zones with caution but no apparent fear. What happened next silenced the arena. The wolverine moved through the blazing sections by using its thick fur and low profile to minimize heat exposure. When it encountered the frozen areas, it simply adapted, its body seeming to regulate temperature naturally. The acid pools that had dissolved other creatures' testing materials were avoided through an almost supernatural sense of danger. "Impossible," breathed Kethvar. "The thermal differential should have killed it within moments." Wolverines regularly survive temperatures that drop to -40 degrees, Evelyn explained calmly. They hunt in blizzards that would freeze. Most creatures solid heat. They've adapted to everything Earth's climate can throw at them. But the real shock came when the wolverine encountered one of the crystal formations. Instead of avoiding it, the animal began systematically breaking through the barrier with its claws, creating a path where none had existed before. Its persistence was relentless, methodical, and utterly focused. The first trial concluded with the wolverine not just surviving, but thriving in conditions that had challenged much larger predators. The alien spectators had stopped laughing. Second trial, the energy being announced, its mental voice carrying a note of increased interest. Combat effectiveness against the Krexthul. A massive gate on the opposite side of the arena began to rise. What emerged was a nightmare given form. The Krexthul stood 12 feet tall, with obsidian black carapace armor covering its insectoid body. 6 legs ending in razor-sharp points allowed it to move with frightening speed. Its mandibles could crush steel, and its 4 arms each ended in claws that had been known to slice through starship hulls. The crowd gasped in appreciation. This was what they had come to see. A proper galactic apex predator. The Krexthul has never been defeated in arena combat, Kethvar announced with obvious satisfaction. It represents the pinnacle of aggressive evolution. Jackson felt his stomach tighten. The wolverine, brave as it was, seemed impossibly outmatched. But Evelyn was already moving to the second containment unit. "Actually," she said, her voice cutting, "through the arena's anticipatory silence, Earth's second representative will handle the combat trial." The new container opened, and what emerged caused even more confusion than before. It was a small, compact animal with distinctive black and white markings. It waddled rather than walked, appearing almost comically non-threatening. A honey badger, Evelyn announced. Mellivora capensis, known on Earth as the most fearless animal in our ecosystem. The laughter returned, louder than before. Several alien species were making gestures that clearly indicated they thought the humans had lost their minds. The honey badger, completely unbothered by the enormous predator facing it, began grooming itself. The Krexthul approached with confidence, its mandibles clicking in what might have been amusement. It had faced the galaxy's fiercest creatures and emerged victorious. This small Earth mammal would be finished in seconds. The Krexthul lunged with lightning speed. The honey badger moved faster. What followed defied every expectation in the arena. The honey badger didn't flee or cower. Instead, it went directly for the Krexthul's joints, targeting weak points in the creature's armor with surgical precision. Its claws, designed for tearing through underground root systems and defending against much larger predators, found purchase in gaps no other creature had exploited. The Krexthul's confident clicking turned to sounds of pain and confusion. It tried to shake off the honey badger, but the small mammal clung with determination that bordered on the supernatural. Every attempt to dislodge it only gave the honey badger new opportunities to attack. "It's not possible," Zimtar whispered. "The Krexthul has natural armor that can deflect energy weapons. Honey badgers regularly fight lions, leopards, and hyenas on Earth," Evelyn replied matter-of-factly. "They're biologically incapable of backing down from a threat regardless of size. Their skin is so thick that bee stings and snake bites barely affect them, and their jaws can crack bones." The arena watched in stunned silence as the honey badger continued its relentless assault. The Krexthul, despite its massive size advantage, was clearly losing the battle. Its movements became increasingly desperate as the honey badger found and exploited every vulnerability in its previously impenetrable defense. Finally, the great predator collapsed, not dead but thoroughly defeated. The honey badger, satisfied with its victory, calmly began grooming itself again as if nothing significant had occurred. The silence stretched for long moments before exploding into chaos. Alien voices rose in dozens of languages, all expressing the same fundamental disbelief. Earth's small, unimpressive creatures had accomplished what the galaxy's apex predators could not. "Final trial," the energy being announced, though its mental voice now carried clear respect. Adaptive problem-solving. The arena transformed once more. Complex mazes appeared along with puzzles that required not just intelligence but creativity to solve. It was designed to test cognitive flexibility under pressure. Evelyn moved to the third and final container. "Earth's third representative," she announced, "specializes in problem-solving." What emerged was perhaps the most unexpected creature yet. Sleek, intelligent eyes surveyed the arena with obvious curiosity. 8 arms moved with fluid grace, each seeming to operate independently, yet in perfect coordination. "An octopus," Evelyn said simply. "Octopus vulgaris, one of Earth's most intelligent invertebrates." This time there was no laughter. The alien crowd had learned to reserve judgment on Earth's representatives. The octopus approached the puzzle maze with methodical intelligence. Where other creatures had used brute force or relied on evolutionary advantages, the octopus demonstrated something different entirely. It began solving problems by thinking through them, testing hypotheses, learning from mistakes. Its color-changing ability allowed it to communicate with the arena's sensors in ways no other creature had attempted. Its flexible body let it navigate spaces that should have been impossible. Most remarkably, it began using tools, manipulating the arena's own components to create solutions the designers hadn't anticipated. When the octopus completed the maze in record time, using methods that impressed even the Council's most advanced species, the arena fell completely silent. Ambassador Kethvar stood slowly, his 4 arms spread in a gesture of acknowledgement. "The Council recognizes," he said formally, "that Earth's evolutionary path has produced something unprecedented. Not the largest predators, not the most armored warriors, but creatures of remarkable adaptability, intelligence, and indomitable spirit. The energy being's voice resonated through every mind present. Earth is granted full membership in the Galactic Council. Your species brings something unique to our civilization, the proof that strength comes in forms we had not previously considered. As the trials concluded and Earth's creatures were safely returned to their containers, Jackson and Evelyn found themselves surrounded by aliens who had dismissed them hours earlier. Questions flowed from every direction, with species wanting to understand how such seemingly ordinary creatures had achieved the impossible. The secret, Evelyn explained to a gathering of xenobiologists, isn't that these animals are the strongest or fastest. It's that Earth's evolution has rewarded persistence, adaptability, and the refusal to surrender. These traits allowed life on our planet to survive multiple extinction events and thrive in every possible environment. Zimtar approached them with obvious humility. I owe you an apology. My people have always believed that power meant size and obvious strength. Your creatures have shown us that true power lies in the spirit that refuses to yield. As they prepared to return to Earth, Jackson reflected on what they had witnessed. 3 ordinary animals from their home planet had not just earned humanity a place among the stars, but had fundamentally changed how the galaxy viewed strength and survival. Do you think they understand now? He asked Evelyn as they boarded their shuttle. She looked back at the station where dozens of species were already requesting cultural exchanges and joint research programs with Earth. I think they're beginning to. Earth's greatest strength was never our technology or our weapons. It was the spirit that drove us to survive, adapt, and never give up. Today, the galaxy learned that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe isn't the ability to destroy, but the determination to endure. As their shuttle departed the station, carrying news of humanity's acceptance into galactic civilization, the message was clear. Earth had proven that true strength wasn't about being the biggest or most fearsome. It was about possessing the unbreakable will to face any challenge and emerge victorious through intelligence, adaptability, and sheer determination. The galaxy would never underestimate Earth again.